A Napa guy knows the only way you'd give a freshly minted driver a brand new car is if he promises to never drive it. Instead, let him grind the gears and knock over the neighbor's mailbox in something a little more suited to his skill level. And with over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, he can safely drive something that's nearly as old as he is. It's not perfect, but it's perfect for him. That's Napa know-how.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good evening, folks. And thank you for tuning in with me once again to another edition of True Conservative Radio. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. I know it's been some time since I've conducted a broadcast here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. Once again, folks, I want to let everybody know that these broadcasts are sporadic, and the best way to figure out when I'm going to conduct a live broadcast is to follow me on Twitter, and the name to follow is Ghost Politics, folks. Twitter.com/GhostPolitics. Favorites. Well, you know what, folks, I'm sorry about that. For some reason, we're having technical difficulties with the Blog Talk Radio Network once again, and I find that rather convenient. So if I happen to cut off again, it is not at my accord. It is not because I'm cutting off the show. It is because these, people at the Blog Talk Radio Network, for whatever reason, are deciding to implement their technical difficulties during my show. So I don't want to get uptight right now. I know that I'm screaming a little bit. I know that it sounds like I may be a little bit hyper here in the early beginnings of the show, and I really didn't anticipate for that. But once again, folks, I was disconnected. I just reconnected. I was in mid-thought right there. I believe I was talking about everybody please adding to their favorites the blog at ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. Anyway, folks, I'm going to jump right into the show program. And the first subject matter in the description on this show, number 139 on the True Conservative Radio program, is none other than the Eskimo bimbo herself, Sarah Palin. Oh, yeah, isn't that great, folks? The reason I'm talking about Sarah Palin, this moose-hunting, Alaskan, whatever, Nordic redneck, or whatever she wants to image herself after. Sarah Palin has been all over the media as of late. I mean, she's been at every major media outlet. Barbara Wowo, or Barbara Walters, or whatever her name is, interviewed her. She's been all over every news media outlet as a prime subject matter of the story as of late. And one person in particular, the mouthpiece, my personal opinion, of the feminist movement, or the whole woman consciousness, if you want my personal opinion, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey had Sarah Palin on her program yesterday. And I thought that was rather convenient, huh? I bet you all the muff-diving, bull-dyke feminists were out there with their bras burning them, watching in their backyards, sitting there saying, oh, yeah, there's my girl Oprah trying to embrace the feminist movement. And let me tell you something, folks. Before I get into the discourse about Sarah Palin, I want everybody to understand that I was the first one on the scene during the last presidential elections stating that the Republican Party had been hijacked by a bunch of liberals and bull-dyke feminists. And they put these two figureheads, John Turncoat McCain and Sarah Palin, as, figureheads that inevitably broke up the party, and not only broke up the party, but fragmented the conservative movement altogether. And at the time when I wasn't for the great McCain-Palin ticket, and I was discrediting the Republicans for isolating conservatives at the time, you had Republicans out here trying to chastise me, trying to spread slanderous lies about me, trying to sit here and call into my show, trying to say that I was the one that's nuts out here. But let me tell you, my disdain and my unpleasant energy towards Sarah Palin goes that far back. And now you got Sarah Palin in the news once again, and of course Oprah Winfrey, the mouthpiece of the woman movement out here, had her on as a guest yesterday. And I don't know, I guess she was more prepared, I guess she was more well scripted. But obviously, according to all the response to the media, and according to all the response in the blogospheres and all the ridiculous blog talk radio shows and all the other outlets out here in the alternative or internet media, they're trying to bloviate that whole Oprah Winfrey interview as if it was some great contribution to human enlightenment, for heaven's sake. And I don't want to get into the whole interview with Oprah Winfrey because, in my personal opinion, it was nothing but a bunch of scripted propaganda. It was nothing more than entertainment, for heaven's sake. But what really sickens me about Sarah Palin is what this woman has done to the conservative movement. She has completely fragmented the conservative movement. Just look at us out here. We're wandering around like a bunch of chickens without heads, for heaven's sake. We're clueless. You got tea-baggers out here trying to, protest town hall meetings about health care reform. And what's their alternative to the great public option? Nothing. That's it. They're sitting there disrupting town hall meetings, acting like complete jackasses all over the place because they're happy with their ridiculous, disgusting, despicable, inhumane insurance plans. There is no basis. This is what I've been saying. That's what I said 3 years ago, you idiots! When all you Republicans were criticizing me, and all you supposed so-called conservatives were turning your backs on me, a true conservative, you were turning your backs on me back then because I wasn't supporting the great McCain and Palin ticket. Because I knew better. I had foresight, unlike you stupid minions that sit here and have to be a part of a group that don't have individual or independent thinking whatsoever. Just as long as you're able to congregate with a bunch of mindless morons that got all their information from a bunch of talking heads, and you can sit here and bounce those stupid talking points off of each other, that's all you morons care about, huh? There's no more individuality. I don't understand why I continue to emphasize individuality when you morons don't have one bit of it, obviously. And a good example of the lack of intellectual curiosity, the lack of creativity, the lack of individual thought is this Sarah Palin. That's right. This whole idea that Sarah Palin is now the conservative mouthpiece of the conservative movement. And it's a joke. It's an absolute and utter joke. And I'm sick and tired of hearing good conservative people that would have otherwise never have gone this ridiculous moronic direction with this Sarah Palin. They're sitting here selling their souls to this moron. And with all due respect to all you conservatives that are trying to find some sort of glimmering light in this supposed 2012 presidential candidate in Sarah Palin, you people have been bamboozled. You've been hoodwinked. I mean, you're obviously looking at an illusion that isn't there because it isn't there, you morons. Sarah Palin is a perfect example of what feminism should have been fighting against. But instead, feminism is embracing this idea. And let me explain this to you. Sarah Palin is an absolute buffoonery. And anybody who wants to debate me, I'm going to give you some evidence on how much of an ignorant piece of buffoonic trash this Sarah Palin broad is. All right? Don't you argue with me. I'm going to do it. But you have to understand the reason that she has got to the point where she has gotten in life, because, oh, look at her. She looks so beautiful, doesn't she? Oh, my God, she looks so hot. That's what these, Viagra-taking middle-aged hard legs that are out here pushing for her and pushed for her during the election, this is the reason in actuality why these morons are backing up this bimbo. And the reason that the otherwise civilized woman is backing up this bimbo is because she's a woman. That's the reason any woman is backing up Sarah Palin, is because she's a woman. But if a true woman analyzed that situation and realized that if you look at her intellectual curiosity or her intellectual capacity, I mean, her knowledge base when it comes to political ideas, political facts, I mean, you have to come to realize that this moron obviously got by on her looks and on her charm and on her ability to be able to conjure up a couple of words and correct sentences and sound sophisticated in front of a bunch of common folk. I mean, that's how she got there, folks. Let's be honest out here. I'm not trying to be critical of her because I don't like her. I'm telling you the damn truth. And what really makes me sick is that both of these men and women that are so enamored with this Palin character, they are going against their own conservative principles. Let me repeat that again. They are going against their own conservative principles by embracing this whole idea of teen pregnancy. Oh, my God. Did you see the Republican convention during the last presidential elections? I mean, it was a damn, it was a damn convention for embracing teen pregnancy, for heaven's sake. I mean, is this whole world gone mad out here? I mean, we had supposed people at this Republican convention, this past presidential election, folks, when Sarah Palin gave her little speech and about, the difference between a hockey mom and a pit bull lipstick. Shut your mouth! They were praising teen pregnancy, for heaven's sake. People 10 years ago who would have otherwise disgusted and shunned away at the whole idea of teen pregnancy, they were embracing it at the damn Republican convention, for heaven's sake. And when I saw this on TV, I was in complete disgust. I mean, it's like all the years that I've dedicated myself to the conservative principles, to the conservative movement, the Republican Party were slapping me in the face by sitting here and embracing this ridiculous, obvious contradiction. This obvious contradiction that is Sarah Palin. And I know that there's a lot of conservatives, or so-called conservatives, that are probably getting their garter belts up their anal passage right now because they can't believe that I'm talking about Sarah Palin this way. That's right. They'll think that, oh, Ghost, why are you talking that way about Sarah Palin? She's giving energy to the Republican Party that the Republican Party needs right now. Let me tell you what Sarah Palin's doing. She has segmented the conservative movement. Do you understand that the conservative movement could be a true force out here? Because we were the ones that invented the whole idea of grassroots campaigning. We have moral principles. We have ideas. I mean, even Barack Obama said it during the presidential election, that the Republican parties and the conservatives were the team with ideas. And now look at us. We're embracing the liberal ideas. We're trying to fashion our whole imagery. Well, at least not me. I know these other ass clowns that are calling themselves conservatives and Republicans. They're trying to fashion their imagery to something a little bit more moderate. Something a little bit more, fashionable to the liberal appetite. And let me tell you something, that's not me, folks. I'm not going to sit here and allow this, moose hunting woman from Alaska who can't even fulfill a term in office sit over here and make a mockery of not only me, who is a true conservative, who's been a conservative all my damn life, but every other conservative out here that's trying to implement true principles out here and trying to attempt to facilitate the liberalized and feminized American public into a new direction. Now, I know that there's still critics out here, and, I'm getting private messages from folks saying, oh, you're being too hard on Sarah Palin. I'm not being hard at all right? I'm not being hard at all at Sarah Palin, because first of all, it would be a different story if Sarah Palin came out and she was a true conservative. Remember when she came out, she tried to bill herself as the conservative as conservative. She tried to go out here and picture herself around a whole bunch of evangelicals, tried to picture herself in churches, and tried to sit here and do the whole pro-life, lip service to the conservative movement. She did everything, and then lo and behold, she knew all along when she was muttering out all that lip service to the conservatives that her damn daughter was pregnant. Her damn daughter was pregnant. She didn't give two rat's asses. She still sang that little happy-go-lucky garbage as if she was a true conservative. She's nothing more than a hypocrite, and she has done nothing but fragmented the conservative movement. And on top of which, folks, she's a dummy. I mean, has anybody else caught on to this? She's a dunski. I mean, this broad, it probably takes her an hour to cook minute rice. She's a buffoonery. I mean, this is a woman who was governor of a state, for heaven's sake. I mean, remind me never to go to that ice bowl out there in Alaska, for heaven's sake. And for all you folks that are living in Alaska taking offense to this, why don't you slap your little redneck brethren out there in your community back into reality and realize that we're not living back in the, 1800s, for heaven's sake, and we need to conduct ourselves properly in the political process and not elect a bunch of, little bimbos that remind them of that, fine little teacher that gave them their little stiffy out there when they were a little third-grade boy. All right? I mean, but let's not get off subject. Let's not get off keister here. Sarah Palin is a dummy, all right? And it's not just my personal opinion. It's a fact. And I know that everyone has heard me say this before, but I'm going to re-emphasize this. I remember, and I know that you idiot Palinites, you people that have worshipped Sarah Palin, all right? I know that you idiots are going to sit here and say, oh, she's a great woman. She's completely competent to run the country. She's completely competent to run Alaska. She's great. I want to refer you to a interview which I always emphasize in my disdain for Sarah Palin. And I'm talking about none other than the Katie Couric interview. Remember that? Oh, yeah, you people have short-term memories, don't you? That's right. I remember that Katie Couric interview very vividly. But for all you dumbasses, all right, for all you idiots that are sitting here, you still got your McCain-Palin posters still in your walls. You still believe that, that McCain-Palin should be, your leaders and all this malarkey. And all you Nimrodic buffooneries that are out there, tickling your nads, thinking that you're going to somehow be a part of a 2012 Palin presidential ticket. You're an absolute ass clown, all right? I want you to take a listen, and take a trip back with me in memory lane in reminiscing about dumbass Palin. I know that right now in modern-day media, they're trying to sell Sarah Palin as if she's just, a broad that got the raw end of the stick. She's just some woman that's out here just, getting a raw deal, getting a bad deal, Oh, she was just put into some precarious circumstances, and we need to give her the benefit of the doubt. She was about to be the freaking vice president, you stupid idiots. But before I get all hyper and before I start breaking things out here, I want everyone here to listen. And I want everybody to reminisce and take a trip down memory lane on the infamous Katie Couric interview that Sarah Palin, the great Eskimo bimbo Sarah Palin, the great hope for the supposed idiot conservatives out here that are trying to put her on a pedestal, that are trying to make her the mouthpiece of the conservative movement. Here is their God talking right now. This is let's hear about Sarah Palin on why she hasn't had a passport until about a couple of years before the election. Let's just hear what she has to say. Let's hear her explanations on some of this nonsense. Take a trip back with me, folks. Hey, put the damn clip on, you milky liquor.
In preparing for this conversation, a lot of our viewers and internet users wanted to know why you did not get a passport until last year. And they wondered if it indicated a lack of interest and curiosity in the world.
I'm not one of those who maybe came from a background of, kids who perhaps graduate college and their parents get them a passport and give them a backpack and say, go off and travel the world. No, I've worked all my life. In fact, I've usually had 2 jobs all my life until I had kids. I was not a part of, I guess, that culture. The way that I have understood the world is through education, through books, through mediums that have provided me a lot of perspective on the world.
Books? Did this broad just say that she learned her horizons of foreign policy through books? What books is she reading? What books is this broad reading? Did everybody hear her, stumble over her own tongue like John Edwards trying to explain how to commit adulterous affairs on a dying wife? I mean, did everybody else hear that, or am I just, hearing things out of my own precarious hearing? Is it a figment of my imagination? Anyway, Katie Couric, that rodent, Katie Couric decided to press Sarah Palin a little bit more. She found that little passport explanation a little bit, wary. So she followed up on, some foreign policy questions. So let's hear it, Katie Couric, you freaking rodent. What did you tell Sarah Palin that made me believe that Sarah Palin was just an absolute buffoonery? Let's hear it. Go ahead.
You've cited Alaska's proximity to Russia as part of your foreign policy experience. What did you mean by that?
That Alaska has a very narrow maritime border between a foreign country, Russia, and on our other side, the land boundary that we have with Canada. It's funny that a comment like that was kind of made to,
Mocked.
Yeah, mocked, I guess that's the word, yeah.
What? Say it. Spit it out.
Explain to me why that enhances your foreign policy credentials.
Well, it certainly does, because our next door neighbors are foreign countries. They're in the state that I am the executive of. And
have you ever been involved with any negotiations, for example, with the Russians?
We have trade missions back and forth. We do. It's very important when you consider even national security issues with Russia, as Putin rears his head and comes into the airspace of the United States of America.
Is everybody hearing this?
Where do they go? It's Alaska. It's just right over the border. It is from Alaska that we send those out to make sure that an eye is being kept on this very powerful nation, Russia, because they are right there. They are right next to our state.
Is everybody hearing this? I mean, please, if you happen to be for Sarah Palin, let me tell you something. I'm a true damn conservative. And I was against Sarah Palin right when they named her vice presidential candidate of the Republican presidential campaign. And the reason was because I knew for a damn fact that she was a contradiction. But everybody was calling me the big bad wolf, that I was a bad guy, for heaven's sake. Give me a break. And for all you bailout fans out there that, that want to, not bailout, but for you people that want to hear her views on foreign policy, for that matter. I thought I downloaded the bailout clip, but obviously not. That was the best clip of the world. But anyway, folks, what she has to say about what she would do in Iraq.
When President Bush ran for office, he opposed nation building, but he has spent, as you know, much of his presidency promoting democracy around the world. What lessons have you learned from Iraq, and how specifically will you try to spread democracy throughout the world?
Listen to this great explanation.
Specifically, we will make every effort possible to help spread democracy for those who desire freedom, independence, tolerance, respect for equality. That is the whole goal here in fighting terrorism also, is not just to keep the people safe, but to be able to usher in democratic values and ideals around the world.
I mean, did you hear this bimbo, for heaven's sake? I mean, can somebody please tell me, all you Sarah Palin supporters that are out there tickling your anal passages and tickling your private parts, thinking that this woman's going to actually have a chance in 2012? 646-652-4869 is the number to call, for heaven's sake. You notice in that last clip on her views on Iraq, she emphasized that we needed to go out and emphasize democratic ideals. We need to spread democracy and all this other malarkey. You did hear that, right? Or are you just playing with your pecker shaft? Hopefully you heard it. Well, I want you to hear what she has to say about Iran, you know. Or, you know, her ideas with Syria. Let's put it this way. What about Syria?
Why shouldn't the U.S. talk to the Syrians if the Israelis are? And couldn't that help to further isolate Iran?
We will speak with the Syrians. We will speak with these countries as preconditions are met, though.
You recently said 3 times that you would never, quote, second-guess Israel if that country decided to attack Iran. Why not?
We shouldn't second-guess Israel's security efforts, because we cannot ever afford to send a message that we would allow a second Holocaust, for one. Israel has got to have the opportunity and the ability to protect itself. They are our closest ally in the Mideast. We need them, they need us, and we shouldn't second-guess their effort.
You don't think the United States is within its rights to express its position to Israel, and if that means second-guessing or discussing an option?
No, absolutely. We need to express our rights and our concerns. And
but you said never second-guess them.
We don't have to second-guess what their efforts would be if they believe that it is their country and their allies, including us, all of our best interest to fight against a regime, especially.
I mean, do you folks hear what I'm saying? I mean, do you see what I'm saying here? Shut her off, please. Shut her off. Shut that stupid broad off. I mean, do you people see what I'm saying here? I mean, unbelievable, unfreaking believable out here. You got this bimbo out here, you know, stumbling over her own tongue, and she doesn't know her anal passage from her elbow. You know, she's obviously trying to BS not only Katie Couric, that rodent that interviewed her, but she's also trying to BS the American people by spewing the crap that she did in this interview, folks. And if you want to hear the whole interview, go ahead and do it after the show. But, folks, it just makes America look like buffooneries. And let me tell you, frankly, Americans are a bunch of buffooneries, folks. We are. There's no individuality anymore. It's either one team or the next team. Not knowing that this country was built on individualism. That's what this country was built on. But no, imbecilic morons can come into the spotlight because they have the eye of the media just solely dedicated to them for a certain period of time. And they somehow become mouthpieces of the conservative movement. I mean, don't you idiots that are out here that are so pro-Sarah Palin, don't you realize that she was unknown before this past Republican presidential nomination? Vice presidential nomination? I mean, don't you realize that? But now, all of a sudden, even after sputtering out these ridiculous sentence fragments and trying to pass it off as legitimate substance to the American people, she has somehow penetrated psyches of I don't know how many morons in America. And they actually believe that this woman is a damn mouthpiece for conservative America. I mean, doesn't that make you sick? If you're a true conservative, if you're a real damn conservative like I am, I mean, doesn't it piss you off? Doesn't it piss you? I mean, doesn't it piss you off, for heaven's sake? I mean, I've been a damn conservative my whole life. I've sat here and had principle. I've had integrity. I had moral integrity. I've raised children. I got grandchildren. And they're not out here philandering around like a bunch of half-witted morons that are just thinking about if it feels good, do it. I didn't do that. My family doesn't do that. You want to know why? Because I really instilled the conservative movement in my children, in my grandchildren. They weren't philandering around. They weren't teen pregnancies. They weren't statistics. But that doesn't matter anymore. It seems like if you take a look at the American landscape and you take a look at the American filth and the absolute ridiculous vermin that are just crawling on the face of the United States continent, you'll realize that everybody seems to have messed up in their life. There seems to be more people that are screw-ups in society than there are people that are actually wanting to progress their lives in society. There's more people with their hands out wanting stimulus package checks, wanting food cards, wanting housing voucher programs, and all these other government entitlements as opposed to demanding opportunity. And let me repeat that again, as opposed to demanding opportunity. You damn socialistic pieces of... You piece of crap! I can't believe you people. This is the opposition. This is the opposition, for heaven's sake. Sarah Palin. Give me a break. Makes me sick. 646-652-4869. Anyway, I know that I'm getting off keister here, but Sarah Palin was on Oprah on Monday, and guess who they decided to follow up Sarah Palin with, right? Guess who the guest was on Oprah on Tuesday, right after the great Sarah Palin? Well, I bet you probably won't know unless you're some sort of a sexual deviant. But the pornographic star Jenna Jameson. That's right, folks. Oprah Winfrey, the mouthpiece of woman liberation, the mouthpiece of the, feminist movement. She decided to follow up the Sarah Palin Monday interview with Jenna Jameson, the damn porn star. The porn star. And you know what really made me sick? I mean, because I just had to watch it. I mean, I'm not an Oprah fan. I think Oprah is just, television garbage. I'm sure if we're beaming all this crap into space, all the television programs that we are out here broadcasting to the United States and to the world, it's all going out into space. And it's going to continue on. And I bet you that in some world somewhere, some aliens are deciphering these signals and watching the images and seeing how ridiculous we are. I don't know why I got off that, but to be honest with you folks, I watched Oprah Winfrey to a certain extent, and this porn star, Jenna Jameson, she came out as if, she was Miss Feminist. She came out saying,
"Oh, I don't care what happened. I did what I did, and that's all there is to it, and I have no regrets, and meh, meh, meh."
I mean, she kept on and on. And then, all of a sudden, when Oprah started talking to her, she started talking to her about her kid. Because now she's married. Now she's no longer, holding pecker shafts and putting them in every orifice of her body. She's no longer doing that for a living. Now she's got, believe it or not, there's actually some asshole that actually married this loosey slut bag, Jenna Jameson, and she happened to shit out a couple of kids. And then when Oprah Winfrey, talked to Jenna Jameson about, oh, well, what about your kids, Jenna? I mean, do you think that this would be appropriate, for your kids? And, this bimbo had the audacity to shed a tear. Yeah. She had the audacity to shed one tear when Oprah Winfrey asked her about her children potentially being exposed to her pornographic material that she produced her entire little career. She shed one tear. You know what I think Jenna Jameson should have done? I mean, I think she should have given herself a damn backhand. She should have killed herself. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's my personal opinion. I mean, how can you sit here and try to act as if you're, somehow ashamed at, turning yourself into a sexual object, turning yourself into some sort of just, deified, disgusting, pecker shaft hole, with all due respect. That's what you should do. I think that, before your kids get old enough to be able to download pornography on the Internet, Jenna Jameson, you should, kick the bucket. You should OD or something, because, I mean, how can you sit here and actually believe that two young children seeing their ma getting tag teamed by, a gang load of black guys is somehow going to help their teen adolescent development? I mean, can somebody answer me this question? I mean, how can someone sit here and have children knowing that they produce this type of disgusting, philanderous filth, and know that their children eventually are going to be old enough to download all this garbage on the Internet, and they're going to be able to see their ma. They're going to be able to see their mother getting gangbanged, by a gang load full of idiots in, Jenna Jameson Does Whatever movie. I don't know. I don't know what movie she's been in. But the only reason I know about Jenna Jameson is because they've tried to transition this slut bag into legitimacy. And why would they try to, transition pornographic stars into legitimacy? Why would they do that? Folks, this is what I've been telling you all along. They are trying to desensitize the American people. Desensitize the American people so that we can accept disgusting, despicable characters like this as legitimate aspirations, as legitimate, role models. Anyway, I didn't mean to get on this horrific discourse about Jenna Jameson, but I found it rather interesting that Oprah Winfrey decided to have Sarah Palin on with that disgusting, despicable interview on Monday, and then she followed up with Jenna Jameson on Tuesday. Jenna Jameson made Oprah Winfrey. I mean, isn't that disgusting? I mean, it makes me sick. I mean, and then the broad, and I'm going to say this one time and I'm going to move on, but then Jenna Jameson had the audacity when talking about her children, her two children that she's brought into this sick world. She has the audacity to sit here and shed a tear. Shed a damn tear, for heaven's sake.
I'm going to feel bad if my children see my twat on film. Oh, my God, oh.
Shut up, you bimbo. All right, and who's the moron that actually, wedded this disgusting philanderous slut? I mean, can somebody, explain to me, what kind of a man would marry a porno star? I mean, don't you understand that, that there may have been about, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000 different pieces of meat up her uterus pipe? And you're going to sit here and say, I do to this slut bag? Give me a break. That's disgusting. It makes me sick to my stomach. But this is America, right? This is feminist America. This is what feminism wanted, right? They wanted women to go out and hop from cock to cock to cock. All right? They wanted women to shit out about 7 or 8 kids from 7 or 8 different fathers. Right? Oh, yeah. They wanted to go out and, change divorces like they're changing dirty, shitty, skid-marked underwear. They want women to just, equate woman liberation to becoming some sort of a subliminal prostitute. And meanwhile, the women that should be getting the props, the women that should be getting the big spotlights on, they're being overlooked by women that are more slut-baggy. You know, women that are down to, you know, put a couple of poles in their mouth. I mean, let's be honest, folks. I know there's a lot of feminist bull dykes and a bunch of dumbass slut bags and a bunch of single whore mothers that are collecting entitlements that hate me, and they're spreading all kinds of slanderous lies about me all over the internet, in the blogosphere and in forums and in chat rooms and all kinds of other malarkey. But I feel personally, my heart goes out to those true conservative women, those individualistic women that went beyond the stereotypical, oh, let me show my tits and ass and I'll get through life a lot easier type of approach, and actually applied your intellectual curiosity and your mental capacity in your endeavors in progressing through life. But we have overemphasized, and I do mean overemphasized, the idea that women have to become complete and utter sexual objects. They have to literally go out looking like they're, had just gotten ravaged by a bunch of, Puerto Ricans in Central Park or something. I mean, I'm serious. I'm not joking. I mean, these women are literally showing off orifices of their body as they go into these alcoholic beverage establishments. And yet, when any of these individuals that are, obviously salivating at the visual display that this bimbo is, going into the alcoholic beverage establishment with, these women are like,
no, I'm not here to do that. I'm here to be with myself. But if you want to buy a drink, that's great.
Shut your mouth. Anyway, I didn't mean to get off on that tirade, folks, but that's about enough. And let me tell you, since we're talking about single whore mothers, let me go ahead and segue into another subject matter of the program that I wanted to discuss this evening. And I'm talking about this soldier mother who decided to, not board an airplane to deploy her to Afghanistan. This is a enlisted soldier who happens to be a single mother who's going to be sent to Afghanistan and refused to board the plane to send her to Afghanistan because, I gotta take care of my kids. I gotta take care of my kids. So, I mean, I can't believe that, the Army or the Armed Forces or whatever damn division she's in, the 3rd Combat Aviation Brigade, I can't believe that their superiors are actually allowing this crap to happen. I mean, had this been a man deciding, well, I'm just going to skip the flight sending me into the theaters of combat, and I'm just going to take a break because I got to take care of my kids. I mean, doesn't this dumbass understand that there's a lot of people that are out there serving, our country that have left children behind out here? All right? I mean, obviously, you signed your name on the dotted line, and I'm talking about this, specialist Alexis Hutchinson. Of course, she's not talking. She's got some stupid scumbag of attorney out here, trying to talk for her because, I mean, what the hell can she say,
I signed my name on the dotted line, and what lured me to the armed forces was the fact that they were going to give me like 30 or 40,000 up front, and but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find a loophole within the system, just like I did when I was collecting entitlements. I'm going to find a loophole within the system and say, oh, I would like to go to Afghanistan, but I've got to take care of my kids, and nobody wants to. I can't find nobody to take care of my kid, so it's okay. I don't have to go out there. I can still collect all the benefits, right? Oh, yeah, I can still collect all the benefits because I'm a single mother. I mean, that's why I joined the armed forces. I mean, give me a break, all right? I mean, and what is her scumbag attorney saying, I mean, of course, the scumbag attorney is propping out all the emotional garbage that these leftists like to suck right out of you, Oh, yeah, they're like, hey,
hey, we got a single parent that cannot make this choice. It's an inhumane choice to ask her to make. Well, you know, look, first of all, this child is 11 months old, okay? This child is 11 months old, and she's about to be deployed. And let me tell you something, you know, this Specialist Alexis Hutchinson, she's not going to be out there in the front lines, okay? I know that there's a lot of people out there, you know, saying,
oh, well, you know, you got to feel sorry for her. I mean, if nobody wants to take care of a kid, she can't go out there and be in the front lines.
She's not going to be on the front lines, ass clown. This woman is a cook. That's right. She's the one out there serving the SOS, the shit on a shingle. She's the one out there serving it, out there at the mess hall. She doesn't want to go out there and do that. You know, and what is the attorney's response when, you know, trying to get some sort of, I don't know, essence of responsibility to this bimbo that doesn't want to deploy to Afghanistan where she belongs, where she signed up for? This is what the attorney says about her family planning. She, you know, and I quote, maybe she didn't feel as urgent about establishing a family care plan, but the soldier, or the mom in question, did have the baby when the Hutchinson family learned she would deploy. So that justifies everything, right? Huh? Oh, yeah, that just justifies everything. Let's just go ahead and everybody who has a kid that's in the armed forces now, you don't have to board your planes anymore if you're about to deploy. All you got to do is just sit there and of course you got this picture of her and her child all over the internet. You know, her, you know, grasping her child as if she's got motherly love, you know, so unconditional and just, I mean, it's just disgusting. I mean, if you wanted to be a mother woman, why didn't you go out and, you know, if you didn't have any skills, if you decided to drop out of school or whatever your case is, why didn't you just go out, flip a couple of burgers for a year or two? And let me tell you, this is what makes me sick about people. This is when you know that people don't want to work anymore. You know, you can go out, flip a few burgers for a little bit, and I know that people say, oh, well, you can't live on flipping burgers, Ghost. You can't live on that. Well, nobody flips burgers forever unless you're a complete, with all due respect, mentally handicapped person, you know, retarded. All right? Now, usually, if you have longevity with these types of fly-by-night, you know, fast food joints, you know, you usually move up the rankings pretty quick. You know, you usually, you know, before you know it, within about, you know, a year and a half, 2 years of dedication to these fast food jobs, you're out here manager or assistant manager, general manager, that sort of thing. So if you really wanted to be a mother like you said there, you could have applied for one of the thousands of, you know, government entitlements that are there for the taking of these morons out here that are mooching off the system, that are doing nothing but applying for government entitlements, cashing them in and going buying pot and smoking pot all day. You know, she could have applied for a few of those and went out there and started working at a damn Church's Chicken, you know, or something like that. And, you know, before you know it, you'd have been taking care of your kid. You'd have been on your way up. You know, you would have been a mother, but you didn't do that. You decided to go and, you know, enlist in the armed forces, which is a great thing. You know, it's a great thing to do. All the men and women who serve in our armed forces unconditionally, our hearts, you know, should definitely go out to them. Our prayers should go out to them. Our respect should go out to them. But to sit here and not deploy because, oh, I don't know who's going to take care of my kid, that's an excuse that you premeditated, in my opinion, there, broad. That is an excuse, in my opinion, that you premeditated. So in my view, you could go out and continue to collect all the benefits that are accorded to the veterans, all the free health care and the benefits and the money that comes in every month and all this garbage. getting access to the damn base products and all that crap, and yet you didn't want to go out and actually serve and be a cook, broad, out there in Afghanistan. It's just disgrace, all right? And, the reason I'm commenting on this so harshly is because this story came out of the Savannah Morning News. And when it first came out of the Savannah Morning News, you had all these comments from local readers of this particular periodical. And most of them were sympathetic to this bimbo, that, we should just be so sympathetic to those that understand when they sign their name to the dotted line to go out and serve our country, that there's no second guessing. This isn't a divorce, broad. This isn't a marriage, bimbo, that you can just kind of go in and out like you're changing dirty, shitty, skid-marked underwear. This isn't about that. Anyway, folks, I don't know what our world's turning into. I want to hear from you. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. We got a bunch of 111 callers in here, but I'm not answering any 1111 callers because we got a lot of those ass clowns that like to call up and do a bunch of prank calls so they can show their girlfriends, so maybe it'll win them brownie points to hit the skins later on that evening when it never does. All right? Give me a break. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I'm going to go ahead and segue into a new subject matter. And I want to talk about Obama's little trip to China. And for all you folks that weren't aware that our great president was in China for the past few days, well, obviously you don't know your ass from your elbow, and you probably were watching, So You Think You Can Dance, or, the dance, well, those stupid dance shows that you idiots have a circle jerk about. You probably know the outcomes of those programs. Well, our president was out in China actually trying to bow down to the Chinese. I mean, he literally went to Japan because he's actually in the Asian region. He literally bowed down to the Japanese emperor out there, which was, all over the blogosphere, and I don't really want to get into that, so to speak, but I thought that was ridiculous, him legitimately and literally bowing down to the Japanese emperor. But then he made his way over to China in hopes of, trying to have some sort of concessions, some sort of, new understanding with this communist regime. I don't know what exactly, he thought he could do. One of the things that Obama came to China with is a big, long shopping list of crap that China, that he wanted China to initiate, or at least be okay with the United States doing in a multilateral fashion. Well, one of the things that Obama carried in his little wish list from China was tougher sanctions on Iran. Tougher sanctions on Iran. Another thing was, the Chinese flexibility on currency exchange rates, because for all those folks that are in business, as well as anybody, that China has completely devalued their currency, and the exchange rates to do any kind of business with this country, if you want to penetrate their market, is damn near impossible unless you're a multinational corporation that's already in cahoots with the communist government. And another thing he wanted to do was have a legitimate handshake deal with the communist regime and its leader, Hu Jintao. Hu Jintao is the leader of China. He wanted a handshake deal that the Chinese were going to concede on somehow backing up or reducing their CO2 emissions ahead of that ridiculous, grotesque abomination in Denmark on December 7th. But what did the Chinese respond? remember, before I give you the Chinese's response, remember, Obama was supposed to be the diplomat of diplomats. I mean, remember during the campaign, what did he say? Huh? What did he say when he said that he was going to, implement diplomacy as opposed to war? He said, "Oh, don't worry, they'll love me. They'll love me. I'll go out across the world, I'll extend my hand to enemies, and they'll love me." Well, guess what, Mr. President? You went out and you extended your hand. I mean, folks, if you happen to have heard any of the speeches that the president conducted in China, he was practically groveling on his knees to the Chinese government. He was actually equating China at the same level as America. He alluded to the fact that we're now dual superpowers. I mean, he made it abundantly clear in one part of his speech that, that we don't want no garbage with China. And I'm paraphrasing what he exactly said. He said something to the effect of, the United States does not, wish to expand its sphere of influence any longer. He was bowing down to the damn Chinese, you morons! And what did the Chinese do? I mean, after Obama was groveling on the floor saying, "Oh, please, I love Mao Zedong. He wore a great peasant suit. Oh, I love communist China. I love eating with chopsticks." After feeding all the Chinese government all this lip service, he gave them the laundry list of sanctions of Iran and, trying to fix the exchange currency rates, trying to cut down CO2 emissions and all that other crap that Obama was asking the Chinese. That's the whole purpose why he went there. The Chinese said nothing. That's right. They made no concessions. They made no deals. So basically, Obama went there to get a good view of the Chinese Communist mechanized government. I mean, nothing, absolutely zero, zip, nada was accomplished with this Chinese little trip by our president. I mean, what happened to Mr. Diplomacy? What happened to Mr. Diplomat over here? You want to know why China is sitting here trying to, give us a backslap by not conceding to any of our demands? Even though Obama's bearing gifts and, bowing down and, he probably walked around with a picture of Mao Zedong by his chest and all this crap. And the Chinese government didn't do anything. They didn't flinch. They didn't respond. There are no concessions. So that means that Obama just went there for a tour, and that's it. He gave a couple of speeches that were highly censored by the Chinese government. And in a couple of those speeches, he alluded that the Chinese government needs to open its horizons when it comes to censoring the Internet. It needs to stop censoring political dissension. It needs to stop, censoring the Internet. And some bureaucrat in the Chinese government responded, "Well, we need to continue to censor the Internet so that the Internet doesn't jeopardize our national security." This is what makes me sick, folks. I mean, how many times does Barack Obama have to strike out before he either A, needs to resize his strategies for international diplomacy, or B, he needs to call in some, Bill Clinton or something. I hate to say Bill Clinton because I hate the piece of crap. I mean, this is a man who, sent jobs, to Mexico and South America and gave these damn corporate America, multinational corporations tax breaks to do it. I mean, maybe he needs to call in Bill Clinton. Maybe he needs to call in old Cue Ball Carville. Maybe he needs to do something here because this little, they're going to love me approach doesn't work. Why do you think you have China saying, you know what, you can come over here, you can eat our, fried rice, you prick. You can come over here and eat our chopsticks and bow to Mao Zedong, but you know what, we're not going to concede to anything. And for you folks that aren't truly understanding why the United States had to go there to discuss these subject matters is because, well, frankly, folks, Iran knows that Barack Obama is a paper president. He knows that Barack Obama doesn't have the gall to sit here and possibly put a preventative strike on Iran. He knows it. So that's why Iran is still tinkering on with this nuclear weapons endeavor. He knows it. So Barack Obama, trying to be the true diplomat that he's attempting to be, went to China in hopes of having the Chinese government try to, help sanction Iran. But you know what? China's not going to do that. All right? I mean, do you understand that China practically owns Iran? And not to, put myself into the story here, but I do have personal connections and some correspondence with the resistance in Iran that's out there trying to cause upheaval against the Ayatollah and its ridiculous Islamic revolutionary regime. And one of the reasons why some of the resistance that I correspond with give as a reason to rebel against this Islamic revolution is the fact that the Islamic revolution, in their eyes, is nothing more than a puppeteer to the communist Chinese. And they tell me, the people that my contacts within the Iranian resistance tell me that China sells them their satellite equipment. China sells them their telecommunications equipment. China sells them all their infrastructure, and it's a bunch of crap. I mean, China sells them their weapons, and according to some of the resistance, they have some connection in the military. A lot of this weaponry that China is selling Iran is a bunch of garbage. It's just crap. So that's my point, folks. I mean, Obama thinking that he was going to go out there and have some sort of, diplomatic negotiations about Iran with China, he obviously doesn't know his international relations very well. He obviously doesn't know the intense economic deals that Iran and China have together. They have great economic interests. So remember, folks, Iran is the third largest oil deposit in the world. So they've got some exclusive contracts, not only with China, but with Russia and Cuba and a lot of the other non-favorable American countries in this international community. So, basically China told our president to piss off on sanctions on Iran. Now, about this currency bit, the Chinese are a little apprehensive on continuing to back this American debt that they're continuously funding out here. And for you folks that are devoted listeners to the True Conservative radio program, we were here first announcing that the Chinese were trying in, I believe it was the G20 summit, trying to call for a global currency and trying to basically suggest that the United States currency is no longer valid. It's no longer stable. I mean, that's a smack to America's mouth. And you see, that's what Barack Obama was trying to do. He was trying to say, hey, wait a minute. Not only pipe your ass down about the global currency bit, but why don't you stop devaluing your currency and making it difficult to penetrate your markets? I mean, you got 1 billion people, China. You got 1 billion people, but no other country can go in there and actually make a legitimate profit because you have just ridiculously screwed up your currency. And you did it on purpose, you stupid ass clowns. Anyway, the Chinese, basically told Barack Obama to piss off on that one. And the CO2 emissions. Well, why is Barack Obama so concerned about the CO2 emissions? Well, the United States and China are number 1 and 2 when it comes to CO2 emissions and pollution in the international community. 1 and 2. So there's supposed to be some global summit that we've discussed here December 7th in Denmark that's going to comprise 192 countries. And supposedly they want to, come to some international binding agreement that's going to put a cap on those that are the biggest CO2 emitters and have those that emit the most CO2 be taxed to death. And what tax are you talking about? I'm talking about an international tax. An international tax to people like China and the United States and those that are big CO2 emitters. And what these idiots at these ridiculous, fraudulent global warming summits are trying to do is they're trying to force, all right, they're trying to force the industrial world, and that means the UK, the United States, China, India, these people that are already producing industrial growth. They are going to internationally tax these individuals or these countries based on their CO2 emission output, and they're going to use that money to fund third world countries' industrialization. All right? I mean, this is Denmark, December 7th, folks. I strongly advise you to look into what the hell's happening and what the hell potentially could happen if there's an international agreement. We all remember the Kyoto Treaty in 1999. Thank God George W. Bush did not sign the Kyoto Treaty, because in the Kyoto Treaty it basically says that the end goal of this whole idea of curbing quote-unquote global warming is to tax the people for breathing. I mean, that's what these dumb green nut jobs actually want from you, folks. They want to tax you for breathing. And if you don't believe me, read the Kyoto Treaty and keep your eye on the renewal of the Kyoto Treaty, which is this 192 country summit that's happening about global warming in Denmark, December 7th. Keep your eye on that, because we could be taxed for breathing by an international consortium. This has nothing to do with the United States of America. This is just some international ridiculous agreement that, in my view, if the United States agrees to this supposed global warming agreement, I believe that it supersedes, by law, I believe it supersedes our Constitution. And if an international consortium or an international bureaucracy supersedes our Constitution and our American sovereignty, well, folks, we have lost America. So I strongly advise you all to keep your eye on this December 7th Denmark situation. Because whatever happens at this ridiculous global warming summit is going to affect you and I, and I'm not just talking about people in America, I'm talking about everybody in the international community. They're going to take your height and your body weight, and they're going to have some bureaucrat make a mathematical calculation on how much your carbon footprint is, and they're going to tax you based upon that ridiculous calculation. It's sick. It's utterly sick, folks. And you see, this is what Obama was doing. This is one of the things he was attempting to do by visiting China, was hoping that China would give a legitimate verbal agreement that they will participate in possibly curbing their CO2 emissions. But China's not going to do that, folks. China is the manufacturing base of the entire world at this point. I mean, they've got manufacturing down to a super science at very low costs. And by sitting here and putting caps on their carbon emissions is going to prohibit them their continuous domination of the manufacturing market. So that's why he wasn't very cooperative, old Hu Jintao, Old Hu Jintao wasn't very, happy with the fact that, Obama came in with all these demands. And to be completely honest with you, to show you what kind of I wouldn't say bad blood, but, there was an 800-pound gorilla in the room when Hu Jintao and Obama were in front of the press corps there when they should have been having a press conference. Instead of taking questions from the press corps there, they decided to go their separate ways and take no questions. So give me a break. I mean, this is getting really precarious, and you know what, folks? The more and more our president decides to implement his diplomatic skills out here in the international community, it seems to me that he seems to demean the integrity of America. Never in my life would I thought that China would treat us like this, as if we were second-rate trash. We're sitting there asking them to make a couple of concessions. And I'm not trying to say that I'm for Barack Hussein Obama, but you have to admit this is a slap in the face to America. I mean, you got Barack Obama, Mr. Diplomat, going out there with an olive branch, and he's saying that, if you're going to be part of this international economic community, you're going to have to do this, and that. And instead of giving Barack Obama a legitimate response to his face, they said nothing. They said nothing. So give me a break. Anyway, folks, I want to hear from you, folks. Get off your cottage cheese asses and give me a call. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. I mean, the bottom line is, folks, is that, the only way that this United States is going to be able to salvage anything of itself is if you as American people actually get up and do something. But I'm starting to believe that that day may never come. I mean, don't get me wrong, you have these sporadic outbursts of true patriotism. I'm talking about true patriotism that's dedicated to the Republic and the Constitution. And I'm talking about Hannah Giles and James O'Keefe and their uncovering of that ridiculous scandal at Acorn. I'm talking about individuals that are out there that understand that what's happening here in America is not right. And that America is a victim of its own ignorance. It's a victim of its own laziness. It's a victim of its own gluttony. And what we need to understand is that we need to stop laying the blame on other people. We need to stop laying the blame on this person, this group, that group. You need to lay the blame on yourself because you were complacent while this government decided to sell our country right from under us. I mean, don't you understand? I hate to keep re-emphasizing it and re-emphasizing it and re-emphasizing it, but God damn it! Don't you understand that this damn government was made for the people and by the people? Don't you understand that? But the people fell asleep at the goddamn wheel. And now look at us. What the hell has happened to us? What have we become, for heaven's sake? I just don't understand what's happened here in America. I've been on here for 3 years, 3 goddamn years, trying to spark synapses in the brains of those people that are true conservatives and that are true American patriots and that believe and know just by mere observation that America is in precarious times and they can no longer sit on the sidelines. They need to get on the front lines because the front lines are right outside your door. We need you. We need you. Don't you understand that? Economy. Let's talk a little bit about the economy in America. Well, there's no other news to talk about other than bad news. And the reason I'm saying that is because we're finding out that this great stimulus package, this stimulus package 2 bill that was supposed to create all these jobs, are not creating the jobs that they're intended to make. And folks, I've been saying this from day one, that this was none other than a raid on the American tax-paying system by these Wall Street bastards that are taking those billions that they took from the American taxpayer and they're depositing them in the campaign contribution bank accounts of the Democratic liberal regime that's in power today. And that's not a lie, folks. Look it up for yourself. But what is it going to take? What is it going to take for the American people to live up to their responsibilities, to live up to their end of the bargain? For the people, by the people. What is it going to take for you to get up and get out and do something? I mean, start to get local, for heaven's sake. Make sure that your local authorities are abiding by your community's wishes. Go out there and get to know what your community's about. If it's a criminal-ridden community, if it's not a criminal-ridden community. What are the demands of the community? What's the major demographics of the community? Start learning as much as you can because you are responsible for participating in this goddamn government. But if you don't participate in it, and if we still get, barely 20-something%, whenever there's an election out here, barely 20-something%, that means barely 20-something% of the damn population is dictating to the other 80% that are out here playing with their Peter Poppers and being a bunch of lazy Jabba the Hutt jag-offs. I mean, it just makes me sick. It makes me sick to my stomach to sit here and witness this great country, this great American nation, just wither away in its own ridiculous ignorance. And you see, when somebody like me comes on the scene, when somebody, a true conservative, somebody who is not going to sit here and play political correctness, all right, that's not going to sit here and utilize this whole agitation method of political correctness, and is going to tell you how it is, people get shocked. People are amazed that I can sit here and say such vulgar and yet true statements to those that are listening within the sound of my voice. I mean, I get emails from all kinds of people saying,
I can't believe that you can say that about the people that you say that about. How can you sleep at night, Ghost, talking that way about the poor in America and single mothers? How can you go to sleep at night, Ghost?
Let me tell you something. I go to sleep with a clear conscience. All right? I go to sleep like a damn baby. You want to know why, folks, that I sleep with clear conscience? Because I'm an individual, all right? I'm an individual that understands that the American system was at its peak. It was its greatest when we emphasized the individual as opposed to emphasizing the collective, as opposed to emphasizing this communist and socialist idea that you minions, that you serfs are on your knees begging for. You're begging for it, you... You're begging for it! And I think that you're going to get it. I think that you're going to get it. Because let me tell you, just look at the things that are happening in government today. Look at the bureaucracies that they're trying to implement upon us. Look at the government grow and grow and grow. And meanwhile, the United States seems to be dwindling. Seems to be just, floating like as if it's a feather on a breeze. And at some point we're going to hit the ground, and it's not going to be pretty. All right? It's not going to be pretty. And I know that there's some individuals in this chat room saying, you need to calm down, Ghost. You might have a heart attack. You might have a coronary. But you know what, folks? I don't care. I don't care if I have a damn coronary on this broadcast. I don't care if I sit here and drop dead right here in the damn air. I just want you ass clowns that are sitting there tickling your dingleberry-ridden nutty anal passages and are just sitting on the sidelines and watching America implode from its own ignorance and gluttony. I want some of you to take your fingers out of your shit funnel and go outside your door and get off the sidelines and get on the front lines, for heaven's sake. Six 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. We got a 111 number here, and I'm pretty sure it's a damn prank call. And if it is, you know, what else is new? What else is new if it's a damn prank call, for heaven's sake? Because you know what? These are nothing but either liberal, left-wing long hairs or feminist muff-diving bull dykes. And if it's not them, it's these damn conspiracy theorist nut jobs that are out here trying to demean the integrity of the true conservative radio show. When, let me tell you something, folks, if you look back in the archive at blogtalkradio.com/ghost and just listen to all the facts and historical backing that I give all of my commentary, folks, you will realize that I'm not just some schmuck out here trying to, you know, win brownie points with a, you know, certain demographic of idiots out here. I don't care about ratings. I don't care if people, you know, are going to listen to me and, you know, oh, look, it's ghosting. I don't care about that. What I do care about is that the true conservative commentary that I am putting before you here, I hope that it's penetrating that psyche, penetrating that cranium, penetrating your conscience, because that's the only way that you are going to get inspired within yourself to go out and participate in this government and do your duty. Do your damn duty. 646-652-4869. 1111, you're on the air.
Terry, no! Terry, no! Terry, no! Terry, no! Terry, no! Terry, no! Tati!
I mean, are you hearing this, folks? This is it right here. That's it. That's the great thing that America has to offer out here. Instead of having somebody to providing some sort of substance or some kind of something onto the debating table out here, you got some half-witted jerk-off that sounds like he just popped out of the anal passage of George Michael servicing a glory hole at some park bathroom at West Hollywood somewhere, calling up and saying, I mean, you know, this is the type of fruity crap that has become originality in America. You know, I would not mind if somebody came up with a decent prank call and something that was, you know, had some kind of a punchline, some comedic form to it. But give me a break. But it doesn't surprise me, folks. Does it surprise you? I mean, honestly, does this crap surprise you when you hear, what sounds like teenagers? You know, instead of, trying to get themselves ahead in life by reading or using this great tool that we call the Internet to help enhance their intellectual potential. What do they use it for? They use it to surf for pornography. They use it to, be mischievous and devious and disgusting. I mean, don't you understand that any other time in world history, any other time, they would have killed to have the opportunities that the Internet offers to individuals. The Internet gives you the tool of a million libraries at your fingertips. Any question that you want answered can be answered at the whim of a few clicks and a few keystrokes. And yet, what are people doing? What are young people? What are old people? What is everyone using the Internet for? Oh, right, that's right. Pornographic material, right? to become subjects on To Catch a Predator, Chris Hansen. Remember those assholes? I mean, this is what we're doing, folks, and yet I say it over and over and over again. I try to tell people that we need to get ourselves out of this idea of being a bunch of sick deviants, and we need to start realizing that it's our duty. It is our duty to participate in this government. And if we don't, well, I don't know what the hell we're going to end up. I mean, we're already halfway to socialism. I mean, once this health care reform bill passes, we're already damn near there. But, there's some precarious times. And let me tell you, you're headed towards Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is next Thursday. Not this Thursday for all you dumbass clowns, but next Thursday. And I think that what everyone within the sound of my voice should be utilizing Thanksgiving Day as a venue to vent your frustrations about the American way of life in this present-day America. I think that everyone should use this as an opportunity to initiate discourse within your family. And don't get me wrong, you're going to have these ass clowns that sold their souls to this Obama situation or Sarah Palin or, one of these ridiculous mouthpieces that need to talk for them instead of having them gather their own thoughts and ideas themselves. But still, initiate discourse. Initiate some type of debate with these individuals. And as you start unraveling the contradictions within their rhetoric, as you begin exposing the true hypocrisy that is liberalism and feminism, that is the modern-day America, then you are doing those that are observing your debate a service to make a conscious decision on whether or not they are going to be, susceptible goose into believing that liberalism and feminism is a legitimate form of political philosophy. I think that it is your duty as an American citizen to utilize the Thanksgiving table as a debating table. And make sure you eat first, because you want everybody to be good and tired before you start getting a little politically heated. But I think everybody in here should use the opportunity here that the holidays bring. They bring family, they bring friends together, and I think everybody needs to discuss the future of America at the Thanksgiving table this Thanksgiving Eve, this Thanksgiving Day. And I'm not just saying that to be some corny bastard, all right? I'm not just saying that to be, Mr. freaking Rogers here. I'm being dead serious. I'm as serious as a damn heart attack. All right, instead of filling your guts with a bunch of, food and gluttony, and instead of watching some dumbass football game that the same team wins every damn year anyway, you need to talk with your family and have them understand that, the children, everybody that's under the age of 45 at this point, everybody who's under the age of 45 is taking a classic fisting up their shit funnel, a classic fisting by the individuals that preceded them. And what do I mean by that? I'm talking about everybody under the age of 45 they don't have a chance in hell. The reason they don't have a chance in hell is because this country has been taken apart by the multinational corporations that were born here in America. They were born here in America. And they have now shipped out all the means of production, all the jobs, anything that was meant for anybody. They shipped them out to India, to China, to Taiwan, to South America, to Mexico. That's where all the jobs are nowadays. When everyone out here out of work, now that the economic situation is contracted, they're out of work. Where are they looking for work? At retail outlets. They're looking for work at fast food joints. I mean, I actually talked to a journalist, that was like a manager at a damn Starbucks. This guy was a respected journalist in some mid-level market. And because the newspapers are going under and the form of media and news and information is changing, there's no need to have all these damn journalists that went out and, spent $60,000 to get a damn journalism degree when it's going to be pretty much useless here in the next 5 to 10 years. But as you notice, folks, all you folks that are in the white-collar jobs as opposed to the blue-collar jobs, you're starting to realize that when you go back into the workforce after being laid off, after being fired from this economic contraction, that there are very limited economic opportunities for you. That the wage standard has gone down, has gone lower, as opposed to inflation going higher and higher. I mean, don't you agree that wages should coincide with response to inflation? But it's not. Why is it not? Well, the same reasons that I've been up here for 3 years hooping and hollering about. All right, I mean, don't you understand that America is seeing a transition into what we knew of as the bastion of capitalism into the bastards of capitalism? That's what we're turning into. We're turning into the bastards of capitalism. And why am I saying that? Well, because we didn't know what to do with it. Instead of actually participating in our government and appreciating the freedoms and the consumeristic opportunities that we have, we made that define us. We made consumerism define us in America. We made consumerism supersede the idea of family, supersede the idea of individualism, supersede the idea of loving one's own children. I mean, this is what consumerism did to America. And everybody, instead of being fiscally responsible, instead of understanding that you can't go out and spend next week's cash and think that you're going to live a 40 or 50-year adult life on that philosophy, but nobody was fiscally responsible, folks. Once again, the whole reason why our damn savings accounts in banks all across America were jeopardized last year was because all these ass clowns who lied on loan applications or didn't read what they were signing decided to finance $250,000 homes on $25,000 a year incomes. They decided to go out and, finance $80,000 cars when they're working at a Kentucky Fried Chicken deep fried section. This is what screwed up America, the individuals that could not pay unsecured debt. And it jeopardized the entire integrity of the economic system. I mean, this is what screwed up the country. This is what almost made all the savings that you put in your bank, it would have made it go bye-bye, go away. I mean, I know maybe a lot of you morons weren't really in tune with how dangerous your savings accounts were going to go into oblivion. But, folks, about this time last year, the economy was literally about to collapse because these morons in America weren't fiscally responsible. And then when they got screwed, and then when they got their houses foreclosed on and their cars repossessed, they decided to blame those that lent them the freaking money. I mean, I know I've said this over and over again, but how in the hell are you going to blame somebody for lending you money? It's like I said, asking your mother for $500 of next month's rent. And then when next month's rent comes around and Mom wants her $500 back, you give her a backhand and say, you should have never have given it to me in the first place. And I don't owe you nothing, Ma. That's basically what these people are doing. They're calling people that lent them the money predatory lenders. I mean, I've never even heard of such a thing. Predatory lenders? Predatory lenders. They're pissed off because somebody lent them money so that they can get crap that they would have never otherwise had. Predatory lender. What about predatory borrowing? How about that, huh? But nope. That's not America. America wants to blame everybody else. Everybody else. It's my mama's fault. It's my daddy's fault. It's his fault. It's my brother's fault. Why don't you go sit on a damn G.I. Joe with a condom on it, you freaking milky lickers, and start taking up some self-accountability. Personal accountability, for heaven's sake. acting like a bunch of jerk-offs out here. That's what we're acting like. A bunch of, anal tickling, dingleberry-ridden, wish you had a clue, hot dog up the ass having, nipple clamp loving, butt plug up the ass looking, wish you had a liberal long hair having, wannabe conservative, chicken-eating cornboy trash. That's what everybody's doing. Anyway, folks, I want to hear from you. We got a little less than 30 minutes left here in the program. We got about 25 minutes left on the program. I want to hear from you. So stop playing with your pecker shaft. Give me a call. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. And I know that individuals get a little apprehensive when calling the True Conservative radio program because I get a little bit animated here on the True Conservative radio program, folks. But, the reason that I get so animated and so boisterous is because I'm passionate about what I say, I mean what I say what I mean. I'm not one of these ass clowns that are trying to, sit here and win brownie points with everybody. I don't care. You see, once again, I can't reemphasize this anymore. I don't care. You notice that most of these ass clowns in the Blog Talk Radio network here, as well as the blogosphere and everywhere else, they're all trying to put their pictures prominent on their websites and on their web pages, and they want their names to be, on a big portion of the website. They're trying to make themselves media stars, and they think that they're going to be the next media mouthpiece that everybody's going to seek after for opinions and all this crap. I am not like that. I don't care if you like me. All right? I don't care. What I do care about is that the conservative commentary that I am conveying on this program penetrates your subconscious and sticks there for the rest of your life. I hope that you take this conservative commentary and relay it. Pay it forward. Spread the word. Spread the word about this true conservative commentary. Expose the contradictions within this system. Expose the contradictions, damn it. We need you. Make people look like jagoffs when you know they're telling a complete lie. And don't worry about, is everybody going to think I'm a meanie because I'm exposing a contradiction that this lying asshole is saying to the crowd here? Don't worry about that crap. Expose the contradictions and expose them by the many. Because if you just sit there in silence, you are nothing more than a serf accepting their gruel. You're nothing more than a damn peasant accepting their little patronage, accepting their little crap, accepting their little stuff of life. Can you feel the passion? Can you feel it? Can you feel the fury? I am not a joke. And I don't care if I die on this goddamn program. I don't care if I have a goddamn heart attack. I don't care. I don't care. I want you to listen to my voice. And I want my voice to penetrate your conscience. I want it to penetrate your soul. And I want you to realize that this country is in a precarious situation. And if you're just going to sit there and be silent, if you're going to go quietly in that good night, then don't be bashful about it. Go ahead and call yourself the serf that you are. You are a simpleton. You are a waste of human life. And all you deserve to be is nothing more than a statistic on a piece of paper. But I'm out here. My chest hurts, for heaven's sake. My chest. I'm out here trying to call the Patriots. This is a call to all the true American patriots that believe in the Republic. You need to get your ass off the sidelines and into the front lines, and this is a compassionate call. This is a heartfelt call. This is people that are out there and that believe in America and that believe in the American system and that believe in our children. Go out there and help. Go out there and do it. Go on. Go on. I better calm down. I better calm down. All right. Let me calm down. All right. I'm sorry, folks. Having a little chest pain here. I'm trying to catch my damn breath. But don't you understand, folks? Don't you understand how serious I am? I'm 646-652-4869. I want to hear from you, for heaven's sake. I want to hear from you. I mean, don't sit there and play with your damn pecker shaft and, flap your fat Cheeto-stained fingers on the keyboard being critical of me. I want to hear what the hell you have to say, you milky lickers. 646-652-4869. We got somebody here from the 229 area code. You're on the air.
Ron?
Hello?
Hello? I can hear you.
Yeah, 229.
What's up, man? That's some passion, man. I hear you.
What's going on this evening?
Nothing much. Been pretty much pissed off all day.
You've been pretty much pissed off all day? Why is that?
Just different shit. A lot of losing hope in a lot of different places.
Yeah, well, you know what? This country is the new home of the American loser. So you're not collecting any entitlements, are you?
No, I don't collect any of that crap.
Oh, good. How old are you, son?
Try to work. I'm only 21.
Only 21? Oh, you're in the Army, sir?
I was. I'm injured. I got my shoulder torn in half.
Oh, well, thank you for serving our country. Yeah. I just want to thank you for serving our country. Now, how difficult is it to find a job out here in America, sir?
Harder than shit. This plain now. I've been looking at a job I was in the National Guard, to let everyone know, and you want to hear some shitty ordeals. I've actually, since I got out of the National Guard, actually been having a little bit better luck finding jobs, but not too much.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir, but, that is not an uncommon problem amongst our America's finest that went out and served and protected our country. And it's not only limited to them, but it's limited to all of America. And you see, what America did was fail to participate in the political system, and as a result, who participated in the political system? Well, nothing more than these damn Wall Street executives that were able to manipulate the political system to put billions in their pockets. The individuals that are out here collecting all the money in this stimulus package 2 bill, the bailout bills. I mean, these are the individuals that were politically active. And this is why America is being flushed down the proverbial toilet, sir. And I'm really sorry to hear about your precarious situation. Hopefully you've still got some positivity in you.
Yeah, I'm going to go to MMI. I'm going to become a marine mechanic. Not Marines. It's a merchant mechanic where you can work on boats and fishing vessels. I'm going to try to get into the fishing industry since that's probably about the only industry that's doing decent right now.
Absolutely. And you know what's that?
Another thing I just want to point out is I think I figured out the root of this problem other than what most people think it is. As far as the jobs, well, a lot of people like to blame Bush for it. Well, I can't really bring myself to with these wars, I can't blame that for what he did. He did what he had to do. I can root it down to all these jobs going to China, which was the president who signed the bill to opened up trade with that country was, if I'm
not
mistaken, was Bill Clinton. And to me, you know, it takes a long time for shit to roll downhill sometimes, and this is just one of those fucking cases. Excuse me for my language, I'm a little bit things. And, you know, oh, Bush did this, Bush did that. Bush just, you know, hit someone back for hitting us in the fucking face. Clinton's the one who gave our jobs away.
You know what, and not only did Clinton give our jobs away, but now we have this liberal regime and this liberal idealism that's accepting illegal immigrants that have invaded our country. They are allowing these people to have safe haven in this country, and not only are these illegal immigrants being able to live here freely without being deported, they're able to get driver's licenses. They're able to open up huge bank accounts and get loans. They're able to collect on the American taxpayer entitlement system. That's right, folks. And at the same time, these illegal immigrants pay no taxes, and they are undercutting the cost of labor because they know that they're illegal. So, you know, folks, you know, there are just so many things that are turning our country into just complete and utter dog crap. And I want to thank that caller for calling in. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate his service and every other individual who has served their armed forces in America. I really appreciate your service, and I'm sure I speak for every other American when I say that as well. But folks, you know, to be completely honest with you, the only way that this economic situation is going to remedy itself, there's a whole bunch of things that need to happen. The first thing that needs to happen is we need to get these illegal immigrants out of the freaking country. Get them out. All right? And I'm not being a racist bastard, all right? I know that, you know, all these liberal long hairs and these feminist bull dykes are going to sit here and suggest that I'm racist against Mexicans because they are the predominant illegal immigrants that are in this country. Hey, I don't care what you are, okay? I don't care if you're a damn sombrero-wearing Mexican. I don't care if you're a damn illegal English tea drinker. I don't care if you're a turban-wearing camel jockey. I don't care if you're a pizza-eating Italian idiot. I don't care if you're a kilt-wearing Scottish bagpipe-wearing idiot. I don't care who you are. If you are not a legal American citizen, then get the hell out of the country. I mean, can I just go into any country that I please and just open up shop and just decide to settle in there without the okay of the state of that particular country in question? Absolutely not. I can't just go into France and say, hey, I'm French now, and I'm going to build a house and buy a house and work in France. I just can't do that. I can't do that, and you can't do that. You can't go into any country and do that. You got to go through the bureaucratic proceedings of becoming a citizen within that country. And let me tell you, folks, that's damn near impossible in most countries. We need to get these illegal immigrants the hell out of here. And I don't care where they're from, all right? I don't care. I don't care. If you're not a legal American citizen, then get the hell out of here. Get out! And the liberals will say, well, how do you get them out, Ghost? You can't, put them in a bus. You can't round them up. How do you get them out of here? I tell you how you get them out of here. Very simple. The first thing you do is you cut federal funding. Cut the federal funding from sanctuary cities that are allowing illegal immigrants to live and work safely without any kind of consequence whatsoever. Cut the federal funding from sanctuary cities and have these cities run on, I don't know, nothing. How about that? Have the bureaucratic mechanism of city government of these sanctuary cities run on nothing since they want to be so damn communistic. And I'll tell you right damn now, that illegal immigration problem will solve itself real quick once you start cutting federal funding from these damn sanctuary cities. The second thing you need to do is you need to take all the small business owners and all the corporate CEOs and all the people that were involved in hiring illegal immigrants in America. You need to take these business owners and these executives and these CEOs, and you need to throw them in jail. Throw them in jail for treason! For treason! Throw them in jail for treason! Because they are aiding and abetting and actually paying off an invader of the American soil here. They are aiding and abetting an American invader. So these small business owners that are supplying employment to these illegal immigrants, these corporate CEOs, these corporations, they should be thrown in prison, and they should be thrown in prison for treason. And that's not a joke. Once you start doing those two things, I guarantee you the damn illegal immigration problem will solve itself real quick. But that just solves the immigration problem. How are we going to get jobs back in America? How are we going to get jobs back in America, folks? Well, you know, that's a little bit easier said than done. I mean, what we need to do is we need to have some kind of an American statesman to initiate dialogue with the private sector and have the private sector understand that they need to emphasize research and development. They need to make considerable investments in research and development. But, you know, unfortunately, we're not going to have emphasis on research and development because all this money that we're printing out, all this money that the government is giving out to, you know, millions of dollars to, you know, save a rat in San Francisco, millions of dollars to study pig odor, millions of dollars to do this and that. I mean, you know, instead of actually emphasizing research and development in the scientific arena, in the technological arena, in the robotics arena, in the biochemical arena, in the biotechnology. I mean, we can go on and on what industry could use research and development and could explode a plethora of jobs. And we could become, once again, somebody that produces something significant that is wanted and in demand in the international community. But not only do we have to emphasize an investment from the private sector on research and development, but we also have to re-educate the populace of the American people. And I don't think that we have the resources nor the ability to be able to re-educate the mass populace of the American people. I just don't think so, folks. I mean, you know, the majority of the American public are a bunch of idiots. Let's be frank. I mean, you know, these are the same people that, you know, watched Who Wants to Marry a Midget. You know, these are the same people that watch by the millions the latest fruity ass to hop around a stage on American Idol like he's got a damn gerbil hanging out his shit funnel. I mean, these are the same people out here. We need to re-educate this whole entire populace, and I just don't think that's possible. Because our current education system, our current public education system has de-emphasized the idea of critical thinking. It has de-emphasized the idea of thinking critically and creatively. Instead, our education system does nothing but regurgitate nothing more than spit back knowledge. Spit back knowledge. The teacher says something, the student spits it back. There's no critical thinking, no type of, critical idealism or critical analysis, none of that crap. None of that crap whatsoever. Just spit back knowledge. Teacher says something, student says it back. And that's all we got in here, folks. I mean, we need to re-educate the populace, and I just don't think that, I don't think that's possible. I think the majority of the American populace out here are more worried about, you know, whether or not Burger King is going to add a 4-meat burger than they are worried about preserving their own freedoms, their own liberty, or conducting themselves properly in the political process. I mean, these people are more worried about getting, crotch shots of Britney Spears than they are worried about preserving this great republic that our forefathers gave us. I mean, it's disgusting. Really, utterly disgusting. And I don't understand why nobody else is as mad and as angry as I am when observing this ridiculous, grotesque jungle that we call the United States of America. I can't believe that there's nobody else that is as angry as me that isn't going out there and really understanding that they need to do something. The hell's your problem, folks? I mean, honestly, what in the blue hell is your problem? Use this opportunity this Thanksgiving to make sure that you provide substance-filled discourse on the debating table out there during this Thanksgiving. Go out there and make sure that these individuals that are at your dinner table understand the contradictions within not only their political persuasion, but within the political system in general. Folks, this is our country. If you're a true American, this is still our country. Until some international consortium, like that ridiculous crap this December 7th that's going to happen in Denmark that could jeopardize the integrity of American sovereignty and the American Constitution, until some international consortium attempts to supersede the Constitution and all the unalienable rights that were given to all Americans therein, then, folks, this is still our country. But if you want to act like some fat, bloviated jerk-off that doesn't give a shit about anything else but guzzling down buckets of cheese and, chewing on fried butter, well, then I don't know where this country's headed, folks. I really don't know. Anyway, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. We got about 4 minutes left here in the program. Please, folks, before you go, please patronize the advertisers that are advertising on blogtalkradio.com/ghost and those advertisers on the official True Conservative blog, and that is ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. Once again, the official True Conservative blog is Ghost Politics. All one word, no underscores, ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. Please patronize all those advertisers that have the balls to advertise on this controversial conservative, true conservative radio show. Because, folks, let me tell you, all the bad crap that has been said about yours truly, all the letters that have been sent to the Blog Talk Radio Network, all the emails that have been sent on to some of these advertisers that happen to have an ad on yours truly's content, they have been badgered. I mean, they have been bombarded with negativity because these damn liberals and these damn feminists don't want what I'm exposing to get out to the regular general American thinking public. They don't want my contradictions that I am exposing from them. They don't want them to be exposed. They want those contradictions just to lay in the carpet, lay in the closet. So, folks, please, it's just a freaking click. Patronize some of the sponsors out there. And before I go, please, folks, I know Christmas is heading around the corner. The True Conservative shop is up and running, and we have lowered the prices on all the crap that we've got going on there. So I strongly advise you to get your True Conservative, I'm a conservative, damn it, T-shirt, I'm a conservative, damn it, tote bag, clocks, we got it all. Go to the website, cafepress.com/ghostpolitics. Once again, folks, that's cafepress.com/ghostpolitics. And hook yourself up with I'm a conservative, damn it, T-shirt. And let everybody know, let all the liberals know that you're not ashamed to be a damn conservative. And if it were up to us conservatives out here, liberalism would be a horrible memory of the past. It would be a thing of antiquity. Because it has ruined. It has ruined! It has ruined our country! So go out there and spread the word about the True Conservative radio program! Spread the word about the True Conservative commentary! Go to the blogs! Go to the forums! Go to the chat rooms! Tell everybody you know about this program, folks! because our country is in danger. Our country needs you. Our country needs us. And we're not going to go quietly in that good night. So go out there and let everybody you know, let them know to tune into the True Conservative radio program. And the best way to figure out when I'm going to conduct these live broadcasts is to bookmark all the special pages. But at the same time, follow me on Twitter. All right? Follow me on Twitter. Twitter.com/ghostpolitics. Anyway, folks, I don't know when I'm going to conduct another broadcast. All right? I really don't know. But stay tuned. Until then, long live the conservative movement and death to feminism.
Buy a smartphone with GoPhone and get one free when you activate required lines of service and both devices on a qualifying rate plan with a $45 refill. AT&T, mobilizing your world. Offer ends May 31st, 2016. Valid on select phones at AT&T company-owned stores, which require new line of service on purchased phone, and participating authorized retail stores, which require new lines of service on both. Both phones require minimum $45 per month rate plan and $45 refill at time of sale in same transaction. Free phone must be equal or lesser value. See store for details.